Hello, it's Beach Cams Man, and today's video is going to be dedicated to the late Lone Ranger, who sadly passed away on Tuesday of this week. So I've joined up with Dawlish Waterfowl and Dawlish Town Council, and we're going to do a special behind the scenes of the aviary and walk you right up to Manor Gardens. I'm going to give you a bit of history courtesy of David Force and Don the Waterfowl Warden, and then just show you around generally. Hope you enjoy it. So this is the next bit after the road bridge, and here's our first male black swan. And the other one's having a kip in the middle of the brook. And this is what's known as Tuck's Plot, this area. And this is going to be the nest. Well, this is the nest that the black swans normally use. However, at the minute we've got a goose nesting on there. This is Jubilee Bridge. It's very windy this morning, so apologies if there's a lot of wind noise. And here's the latest cygnets, 6 of them. With the parents just down there having a bit of a kip. Now all along the brook, there's lots of ramps. And walkways up either side of the weirs, so the waterfowl can make their way up, back up the brook. Right, so we've got the goslings up here as well. So the other side of the brook, there's also little ramps, and the waterfowl can sit that side without getting disturbed by us. So it's all fenced off, so they can get a bit of peace and quiet over there, to a degree anyway. And here's the last year's cygnets, the Lone Ranger's siblings. How you doing? So we have exclusive access to Dawlish Aviary. Thanks Don for letting us in. Calm down. Right, so that's the aviary. I'm just going to show you some of the new ones, the new ducklings. So this is the incubator inside the aviary. Got those in there. Right, so right, so this is a footpath now that leads up to Manor Gardens. Right, so we're at the top of Manor Gardens now, and then the other side of this bridge, a bit further up the brook, is Bridge House. If you watch our free cameras, you'll have seen the advert on there for that place, which should be reopening again soon. But they've got its own private garden the other side of that. It's absolutely beautiful. So to the right, just up the hill, we have the town hall, manor house, council property. As you can see, it's beautiful up here, palm trees. Well, it was October of last year when I first filmed the Lone Ranger with the other cygnets. The video reached 12 million people, which was incredible, and I think that's what gave the Lone Ranger a bit of his fame. Even though obviously I showed you a lot of footage of him growing up, I spent a lot of time with them without the camera rolling as well. So like a lot of you, I was truly gutted when I heard the news Tuesday night. So I'm still out filming the new bunch, which is lovely to see, and I keep seeing the brothers and sisters to the Lone Ranger daily as well, and so they're still doing okay. And on behalf of Dawlish Waterfowl, Dawlish Town Council and myself, we'd like to thank you all for the messages of support for the Lone Ranger. It's been truly overwhelming to receive so many messages and comments from people all over the world. Over the next week, I plan to be digging through all my footage of last year's cygnets to make a special little video of the Lone Ranger's short life. We've had a lot of suggestions for memorial or plaque for the Lone Ranger, but this is going to be very difficult to arrange, especially at these times. I've had several meetings with Town Council this week, and we've come up with the idea of a Lone Ranger canvas. This way we can celebrate the Lone Ranger's life and help support Dawlish Waterfowl. This is a joint partnership with Dawlish Town Council and Dawlish Beach Cams. Proceeds from these canvases will be donated to Dawlish Waterfowl, and this will help with the upkeep and maintenance. I'm going to give you a bit more history on the black swans of Dawlish now, thanks to our local historian David Force, and also Don Phillips, our waterfowl warden that works so tirelessly to keep these birds healthy and happy. Black swans originate from the west coast of Australia and have adapted very well to life in Dawlish. A pair was given to the town over 100 years ago in 1906 by a local man called John Nash. He had emigrated to New Zealand but returned to the town occasionally. This was a 6-week trip by ship, so he obviously loved the town and thought a pair of black swans would be an attraction for the wealthy visitors who came to stay. He was right. Remember, at this time very few workers were given paid holidays, so the town attracted the upper classes who stayed in hotels near the seafront. Sadly, no one really knew how to look after the black swans, and they didn't breed. They were very happy on the brook until about 1920. There was then a break until after the Second World War. During this time, white swans lived on the brook with ducks and waterfowl, although fewer in numbers than there are today. The birds were still a great attraction for residents and visitors. In the late 1940s, Captain G.R.S. Pittman, a game warder in Uganda, presented a pair of black swans to the town in Dawlish in memory of his late parents. His father, Charles Pittman, had been a county councillor. These swans occasionally bred. It was at this time the black swan became the unofficial emblem of the town and appeared on millions of postcards sent around the world. In more recent years, the waterfowl wardens employed by the council have become increasingly adept at looking after the birds and a wide selection of waterfowl in the aviary. There is rarely a time when you don't get to see a nesting pair or a family of cygnets somewhere on the brook or the lawn. Depending on their age, weather and nesting conditions, young black swans can have 2 to 3 clutches a year. Indeed, one of the pairs has raised a brood during November and December for the last few years. Other species of swan normally only have 1 to 2 clutches a year in the spring and the summer. Black swans are generally monogamous, and although most will mate for life, the waterfowl wardens are aware of some Dawlish black swans which have not. Black swans are also very territorial, which is why you rarely see black and white swans together. It's also why some of the young have to be given new homes elsewhere, as their parents will chase them away as they mature. For me, there's nothing better than to walk along the seawall in the morning, then up the brook to look at the birds. The black swans continue to attract and enthrall people to the town, but now have a worldwide following thanks to the Dawlish Waterfowl page and my Dawlish beach cams. We've now reached close to 100,000 followers across all of our channels, and it's growing continuously. Thanks ever so much for watching this walk this morning. I hope you learned something new. I certainly have. We now have the Lone Ranger canvases online. They're available to buy in our shops. They start at $29.99. Some of the profit of that will be donated to the Dawlish Waterfowl, which will help look after the birds, help the upkeep and maintenance as well.